So you're a music producer, and when you open up your DAW for the very first time, you're kind of intimidated by the blank canvas that's staring back at you. In today's video, I kind of wanted to talk about a very simple guideline or approach that you can use when it comes to building a track or a beat, and a little bit of my process. Hey friends, what's going on? Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out my channel as always. For those of you who are new here, I'm Daniel from iosoundstudio.com. My goal is to impact the world with music and to inspire and to teach other people to do the very same thing. So for this particular track, I'm using the song I Dodged a Bullet by Quinn92 as the reference track, and I'm gonna build something that's kind of inspired by that type of flavor. So the very first thing that I wanna do is figure out the tempo and a decent key to pull from. Now, this song is already in the key of E major, but instead of E major, I think I'm gonna use C major instead. And the tempo seems like it is somewhere around 87 or so beats per minute. So that's kind of where we're gonna start. So for this track, I'm starting off with a simple type of drum beat. The reference is pretty laid back. It has kind of some dead drums, and so I pulled some samples off of Splice to be using for this particular drum beat. It's gonna be really laid back, really simple. I have the sounds taken and put in a drum rack in Ableton, and I'm going to be playing them on my Arturia Beat Step, which I use as my MIDI controller of choice. All right, so I've got everything prepared. I have my guitar tone selected. I've got my sounds and everything on my MIDI controller, and we're just gonna go ahead and start recording a drum beat, a basic drum beat. So here we go. All right, so I have two kicks that I recorded. One is more of a subby type of kick that sounds like that, and another one is more of like a dead kick that's more akin to what's in the song, which sounds like this. So I'm gonna actually take that sub kick and bring that down quite a bit. I just want it there to kind of fill in that low end a little bit more, but realistically I want it to sound more like an actual drum kit instead of like a programmed drum kit. I'm assuming that in the song there's actually a live drum kit recorded, but for simplicity's sake, I didn't want to set all that up. I'm actually gonna go ahead and start that out with a fill really quick. Something really simple, because the fill in the actual song is pretty chill. Great, to make it feel a little bit more human, I'm gonna add a couple of ghost notes to kind of improve that feel. Great, now I have a kind of clean tone for this guitar. So again, it's a pretty laid back type of feel, so I'm gonna keep it kind of simple. In their progression, it was something like a 4-1-6-5 type thing, but in this track, I'm gonna do a little bit of a different approach. I'm thinking something like a C to like a 2, a D minor 7, to maybe like just a straightforward F, and then maybe back to C. And then also in the track, they're embellishing it with a couple of runs from like the major pentatonic, so I'm gonna do something similar in this track. So maybe something like something along those lines. That kind of gives me a similar feel to what's going on in the actual song. So I want to beef up this tone a little bit more. I'm going to add a plugin called Little Radiator from Waves and just kind of add a little bit more crunch to the sound. Sweet. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the bass. So let's take a quick listen back to the reference track and see what other things are going on that we can add on top. So to my ear, it also sounds like there is an acoustic guitar that's kind of layered on top of the bass and that kind of dry electric guitar as well. That's kind of, you know, playing a couple of notes from like the pentatonic major over top of that electric rhythm line. Now, I've already kind of included some of that stuff in the electric rhythm line, so I don't really want to overcomplicate it too much because it could feel like there's too much going on between like the bass runs and the runs in the electric guitar and the acoustic guitar, but I'm gonna see what I can do to kind of introduce some of that and be a little bit sparse with it. Cool, so we got some drums recorded, some bass recorded, some electric guitar recorded, and some acoustic guitar recorded, and I feel like it's kind of starting to come together a little bit. Now, at this point, there are a couple of like ear candy type of things, like vocal sample type things in the background with a bunch of reverb and stuff on them, so I'm gonna record something like that, and also probably duplicate this and then throw in a tambourine loop or something like that on top of it to kind of simulate a chorus feel for the song. So, let's go ahead and do that. Cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and edit that a little bit, throw some like waves tune over top of it, and get some verb on it, and see what it sounds like. I'll see you back in like 2 seconds. Okay, so I resorted to using Melodyne. Waves tune is just not quite giving me what I want, and I didn't even sing that out of tune. If I were to actually be making this into a track, I would probably find a little bit better drum samples, spend a little bit more time finding good drum samples. But that's kind of a good starting place. Now, we could also go ahead and add like an electric piano type of deal. So I'm just gonna kind of lay back and vibe with this electric piano. I don't think it needs to be, you know, overly whatever, crazy or anything. I think it can just kind of be chill for the vibe. So that's kind of the track. If I were to keep on going from this point, we would kind of get a top layer, we would add some more ear candy, a couple of like transitionary type of things. Speaking of that, let me go ahead and grab a tambourine loop for like the chorus type feel from Splice, and I'll kind of show you guys the final track. Sure, for the sake of the song, that'll work just fine. So let's go ahead and grab that. So the track kind of from the top, it's nothing crazy, it's something literally I just threw together pretty fast, but check it out. Yep, so that's pretty much the track. Again, if I were to kind of develop it from here, I would probably add a B section like in the other song, kind of changing up the chord progression, maybe going from like a 3 to like a 3 minor to 6 minor, something like that, maybe a 5 to like a 6 minor, and go back and forth between those for like 8 to like 16 bars, and pretty much just top line this with an artist, and then, you know, add the ear candy, add the transitionary type of things, and then get it to mix and master, and then that would be the track. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you enjoyed this video and you want more like it, please let me know in the comments below. These are pretty fun to make, and I enjoy kind of just producing for fun and not necessarily for an artist. So I'd love to see you guys' insights, maybe even tips you guys have from me. I'm always trying to grow as a producer as well. But please check out my Patreon, where I upload full mix and production breakdowns of songs that I do for myself and for clients. And check me out on the socials, and I'll see you again very soon with another video. Peace out. Thank you for being here.